I was hired as a journalist for PixiePages. There are some strange rules. Part 1. By Prickly. I think I died today? Top right drawer is your handbook. Read it carefully. I'll send someone for you to shadow. Just wait here, hun, Joe ordered, disappearing into the cubicle labyrinth before I had the chance to speak. The handbook I read was interesting, to say the least. Aside from the standard clothing codes, antidiscrimination policies and the sort, odd rules were sprinkled in. For example, under no circumstances could I agree with the witness. The printer and copier could never be fed magenta, and the shredder needed to be asked before used, then thanked afterwards. The fridge should never be touched. These very strange, very specific rules littered the otherwise unremarkable pamphlet. Since this was my first job out of school, I didn't want to screw myself over by ignoring a single detail. As bizarre as the rules were, I decided to commit to them. Worst case scenario, I make a fool out of myself. I'd rather be gullible than ignore the rules. Let's get a move on. Name's Paulie. Nice to meet ya. A soft voice startled me, caused me to jump a little. Josh! I spat, recomposing myself, then offered a hand. Paulie shook mine with an unexpectedly firm grip. Without another word, we rode the elevator to the ground floor. Say nothing. Right? Nothing. Just follow my lead, Paulie instructed. Paulie spoke with such conviction that I struggled to doubt them being anything other than serious. Paulie meant those words. Paulie drove us to the interview site, not saying a word the whole time. We pulled into a gravel driveway, just outside of the only house for nearly 10 miles. The rundown building may have at one point been a majestic mansion. However, all that remained was an overgrown yard, filthy windows, moss-covered walls, and a collapsed garage. Is this the place? I asked incredulously. How can anyone live like that? Hey, shut it, Paulie hissed. You look at this one as on the tamer side of things. Keep your mouth closed and follow my lead. I won't keep reminding you. Paulie grit their teeth, glaring into my eyes. With a huff, they stormed out of the vehicle and strolled to the front door. I trailed behind, nearly tripping on the uneven path. I caught myself just as Paulie used the ornate knocker. Metal hit metal with a reverberating clang. At least 3 dogs began incessantly hounding the door. Paulie slightly turned to face me, just enough so I could watch them mouth out, "There are no dogs." My brow furrowed as my doubts grew. It was becoming more and more difficult to believe. Between the insane rules and ridiculous behaviours I'd encountered so far, this had to be a prank. Even so, I played along. The heavy door swung open in a flash, revealing a wildly disproportionate figure within. The unusual frame croaked out, "Aren't they just lovely?" The figure made no attempts to identify what the "they" was, though that didn't stop Paulie. "They're terrible," Paulie countered, softly sighing. "Where are they?" Paulie stated, even though it should have been a question. The figure swayed, twitching occasionally. "They are 398.4 meters south, 832.7 meters east. A red, slimy tendril licked at the doorframe, slithering back into the house before the figure asked its next question. "That one should live?" A thin coil shot out, quickly constricting me around the waist. I choked out in a shock as the air was forced from my lungs. My arms reflexively grabbed at the slick, eel-like tentacle strangling the life out of me. On the verge of collapse, I barely made out Paulie's words. "No, they should not." In a moment of desperation, I begged for my life. "No, I should live." I heard it before I felt it. Have you ever heard a watermelon splatter after falling? Imagine that, accompanied by juicy meat tearing. Now you have an idea of just what I heard as my torso was separated from my waist. Like a crushed soda can, my lower half crumpled to the ground. My upper half would have followed suit had Paulie not caught me. Although drowning in shock, I could still make out Paulie's words, through the bog of blood loss and excruciating pain. "You'll be okay, it'll be okay." Paulie tried to comfort me. "Dropping me like a sack of garbage, you're a dumbass. Hopefully now you've learned your lesson." The world faded out. A mercy, as I no longer felt the agony of being in 2 halves. I embraced the cold nothingness as I ceased to exist. Then I woke up. "Welcome back, Josh," Paulie said smugly. "Whoa, where, huh?" I stammered, feeling for a pair of legs that were somehow intact. I felt around, finding nothing unusual. My organs were inside of me, my clothing was as wrinkled as it had been this morning, not even a bruise, no speck of blood. "You undoubtedly have hundreds of questions, but I've only got a handful of answers. First, follow the damn rules. Second, whatever happens to employees is undone at the end of our shift. Third, break too many rules and things will start to stick. Fourth, you do not have a choice but to work. No use running. You'll show up tomorrow and you'll show up the day after that. Fifth, questions are better left unanswered. Poorly unloaded on me, mostly on deaf ears. I was not in a stable state of mind. I sprinted to my car and sped home, and here I am. My first day at PixiePages and I was torn in half. Yet somehow, I'm alive. I can't find anything online about PixiePages Inc. Google Maps doesn't show a valid address when I type it in either. I used Google Maps this morning to find my way there. How the hell does it suddenly not exist? I'm certain I died today. I don't want to return tomorrow. Please, save me. Someone. Anyone. 911 won't go through, and I can't bring myself to talk to my family. Whenever I try, bullshit about what a great day I had spews from my mouth. I don't know what I've got myself into, but I'll keep you updated. Wish me luck. I've got to go reread those insane rules.